Marshalls is going digital. The company will launch an online store later this year.
Everyone thinks Marshall's is just a regular discount store, but behind those crowded shelves lies a whole secret code that only savvy shoppers understand. Red tags and yellow tags aren't just colors. Tiny numbers on labels can reveal the real original price, and even the store location you visit determines the deals you find. Many people score designer items at up to 80% off not by luck, but because they know the silent rule: Marshalls never advertises. Today, I'll reveal 13 secrets to turn every Marshall's trip into a true treasure hunt. Like so more people can see this info. 1. Barcode and sticker cover-ups. Have you noticed that many products, especially clothes or perfumes, often have price tags with an extra sticker layered on top? This isn't just a way to update the price. In reality, Marshalls and other discount stores use this trick to hide the original price or brand, making it harder for customers to compare and focus only on the sale price. If you're observant, you might uncover something interesting. Someone bought a shirt for $29.99 and peeled off the sticker to find the original price was $89.999. A perfume bottle marked "Compare" at $59.99 actually came from a major brand with a retail price over $120. These discoveries help you understand the true value of an item and feel like you've struck gold. Of course, it's not always easy. Marshalls often prints new stickers to fully cover old barcodes, but sometimes a few symbols, serial numbers, or tiny logos still peek through. These are clues to the product's real origin. Especially with high-end items, checking under the sticker can give you that winning feeling, saving money while knowing you own something valuable. So here's the tip: don't ignore layered stickers. Checking carefully can reveal the hidden story behind an item and show how Marshalls uses stickers to limit price comparisons. 2. Decoding numbers on price tags. When shopping at Marshalls, most people only look at the big number on the tag and miss the tiny digits below. In fact, every price tag at Marshalls has its own code, and if you know how to read it, you'll gain key information to decide whether to buy now or wait for a deeper discount. First, the initial numbers are usually the product category and SKU code, not very useful for shoppers. But the real gem is the original price cluster, like 01999, meaning the item's starting price was $19.99. This is the true baseline for comparison, not the vague "compare" at price Marshalls often adds. This helps you see if the advertised discount is actually a steal or just a marketing trick. Next, the small box nearby often shows the intake date code. A higher number means the item was recently stocked, and the sooner it might go on sale. This clue helps you strategize. If it's new, wait a few weeks for a potential drop. But if your favorite item has been on the shelf a while with plenty in stock, grab it. The chance of further markdowns is high. The key is not to overlook those seemingly meaningless numbers. They're Marshall's secret language they don't want you to crack, because understanding them lets you shop smarter and avoid rushing into sale hype. 3. Price tag colors, red and yellow. One of the biggest secrets to shopping at Marshalls is the color of the price tags. It seems simple, but it's actually a hidden signal telling you the discount level and the best time to buy. If you pay attention, you'll notice two key colors, red and yellow. A red tag means the item has entered clearance, officially marked down. You might find these scattered throughout the store, not just in the clearance section. Sometimes the same item on the main floor is full price, but a few steps away in clearance, it has a red tag and is a few dollars cheaper. That's why, before leaving, you should take a moment to compare and avoid overpaying for the same product. Yellow tags are the real treasure. They signal final clearance, usually during big clearouts like January and July. Once an item gets a yellow tag, it's in its final phase before being removed from shelves. The price doesn't just drop once. It can get additional yellow stickers layered on, each reducing the price by another 10 to 20%. You might see shoes or shirts with 2 to 3 yellow tags stacked, proof of weekly markdowns. 4. Keywords on tags, designer, irregular. When shopping at Marshalls, you'll spot special keywords on some price tags like designer or irregular. These aren't random details, they're secret signals that tell you exactly what you're holding. If you know how to read them, You can easily spot true deals versus items with minor flaws. First, when you see designer, know right away that it's from a major brand or sourced directly from high-end labels by Marshalls. In other words, these are items you'd normally find in luxury stores at much higher prices. Spotting a designer tag means you're in for a real bargain, a true treasure hunt win. On the flip side, irregular can throw some shoppers off. It usually means the product has a small manufacturing flaw, like a slightly off seam, an extra stitch, or a barely noticeable scratch. But most of these imperfections don't affect usability at all. Take a pair of Levi's jeans labeled irregular. You might inspect closely and find it's just a seam at the hem off by a few millimeters, something hardly anyone would notice but you. 5. Best times to shop. One of the key factors in scoring great finds at Marshalls is timing your visit. Many think hitting the store right at opening is the golden strategy. But the truth is, that's often the worst time. In the morning, a lot of new shipments are still on trucks or in the back room, not yet on shelves. Show up too early, and you're just seeing leftovers from the day before instead of the freshest stock. According to Marshalls employees themselves, the ideal window is from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. That's when staff have had time to unload, display, and organize everything. The newest items are just hitting the floor, and you get a full view of the inventory, making it easier to pick what you want. Beyond the time of day, the day of the week matters too. Mondays are the aftermath of busy weekends. Staff are cleaning up and restocking, so things aren't settled yet. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays are the golden days, though. That's when the store is fully refreshed with new arrivals, gearing up for the weekend rush. If you want the best selection and prime picks, mark these 3 days on your calendar. Like if you just learned something new. 6. Stores in wealthy areas have exclusive stock. Here's a fun secret even some Marshalls fans might not know. The store's location dictates the deals you'll find. Not all Marshalls are created equal. Shops in average neighborhoods usually stock mainstream items, mid-range brands, and accessible prices. But venture a bit farther to upscale areas with high-income families, and you'll see a whole different world. In these spots, Marshalls gets priority on premium items, big-name brands, and even rare collections. From shoes and handbags to home goods or decor, you might spot names that never show up in regular stores. Shoppers have shared stories of finding Michael Kors bags, Kate Spade purses, or even a few pairs of Gucci shoes, just by driving an extra 20 minutes to the ritzy neighborhood Marshalls. It makes sense. Brands and distributors want their products in places where customers are ready to spend more. Marshalls knows that in affluent areas, shoppers expect quality, so they curate inventory more carefully. As a smart shopper, you can leverage this to hunt exclusive pieces at deep discounts. 7. Ask for markdowns on flawed items. Here's an underused gem for Marshalls shopping: asking for markdowns on damaged goods. You'll spot plenty of items with small scratches, chipped edges, crooked seams, or dented packaging. Many pass them by, thinking flawed means not worth it. But the truth is, you can turn those tiny issues into extra savings if you know how to ask. The rule is straightforward. If the item doesn't have an as-is tag, meaning it hasn't been specially discounted for its condition, you can take it to the register and politely ask a staff member to check it for an additional markdown. Say, a wooden shelf priced at $49.99 with a slight corner crack. If you still think it's usable or fixable yourself, the store will often knock off 10 to 20%. That's real, legit savings. Seasoned shoppers say Marshalls is pretty flexible here. As long as the flaw isn't major and you show you're serious about buying, they'll consider the markdown to move the item. Remember, stores want to clear these tricky pieces fast instead of letting them take up space. The key is your approach. Don't demand. Keep it friendly. I like this, but it has a small scratch. Could you mark it down a bit? The right attitude can make or break getting that deal. Trust me. Once you get the hang of this, Marshalls feels like a game where every scratch or wonky seam is your personal discount ticket. 8. Footwear is the best category to buy. Among the countless items sold at Marshalls, if you had to pick the best category to shop, it's almost certainly footwear. The reason is simple. This is where Marshalls consistently shines in both price and brand selection, outpacing many other discount chains. While TJ Maxx is known for handbags, Marshall's is a paradise for shoe lovers. From sneakers and heels to winter boots and flip-flops, you can find top brands like Steve Madden, Adidas, Nike, Converse, and even high-end labels rarely seen in budget stores. The best part? Prices at Marshall's are typically 30% to 60% lower than original retail, sometimes even more during sales. A small tip: make a habit of browsing the shoe aisles regularly, as new stock arrives constantly and hot items disappear fast. If you pass up a pair you love, chances are it won't be there on your next visit. Also, don't skip the clearance section, where you can find designer shoes marked down just because they're odd sizes. Another big plus: shoes tend to have fewer manufacturing defects compared to clothing or home goods. This means you can buy at a discount with confidence in the quality. Even if you spot a minor flaw, like a scuffed heel or dented box, you can still ask for a markdown and get an even better deal while the shoes remain perfectly usable. 9. Check expiration dates on cosmetics and skincare. When you think of Marshall's, clothing and shoes likely come to mind first, but cosmetics and skincare are an overlooked treasure. You can easily find high-end brands typically seen at Sephora or upscale stores: Clinique, Laneige, Kate Somerville, even MAC, NARS, or Laura Mercier. Sounds tempting, right? Prices are often half what you'd pay at full-price retailers. However, there's a crucial catch. Always check the expiration date. These products are sometimes overstock or older batches, meaning they may expire sooner than items at major retailers. A jar of moisturizer or serum might look brand new, but its shelf life could be just a few months. If you're not careful, you might end up with a great deal that goes to waste before you can use it all. Here's a tip: look for the PAO, period after opening symbol, or the expiration date embossed on the bottom of the packaging, usually marked as 6M, 12M, or 24M, 6, 12, or 24 months after opening. Also, opt for smaller or travel-sized products. They're cheaper and easier to use up before they expire. The good news? Many shoppers have noticed that Marshall's has recently tightened its screening for near-expired products, reducing the risk of buying outdated cosmetics. Still, it's up to you to double-check. 10. Check the clearance rack. One of the classic tips for Marshall's shopping that many overlook is always check the clearance rack before leaving the store. It sounds simple, but it can save you a decent chunk of money. There are plenty of cases where the same product, same brand, and same style are priced higher on the main floor but cheaper with a clearance tag elsewhere in the store. For example, a shopper found a gray sweatpant on the main floor at full price, but in the clearance section, the exact same pair had a red tag knocking off an extra $2. It's a small amount, but if you make this a habit, the savings add up. Plus, it feels great to know you got the item you love for less than someone else paid for the same thing. Here's the interesting part: the clearance section at Marshall's isn't just old or leftover stock, as many assume. Often, it's brand new items that are simply odd sizes, less popular colors, or being cleared out for new inventory. If you're patient and dig through, you're likely to find high-quality items at surprisingly low prices. 11. Ask staff about new arrivals. One of the simplest yet highly effective tricks for shopping at Marshall's is, don't be afraid to ask staff about new arrivals. Many think shopping at Marshall's means patiently rummaging through every rack and shelf to find a deal. That's true, but it can take hours. A quick, polite question can save you tons of time. The truth is, Marshall's employees often know the restocking schedule and which shelves were just updated. They might even tip you off about special shipments, like shoes, bags, or high-end cosmetics, that hit the floor that day. Instead of exhausting yourself hunting for treasure, just ask something simple like, "Hi, are there any new items that just went out today?" Many shoppers say this has helped them zero in on the right section first, even snagging designer items fresh off the truck. Plus, if you're a regular, try building rapport with the staff or manager. A friendly hello or quick chat each visit can pay off. Over time, they might share insider info, like when yellow tags are coming or when a big shipment is due. That's an edge not every shopper gets. 12. Hunt for deals during seasonal transitions. One of the golden times to shop at Marshall's that many people miss is during seasonal transitions. This is when the store needs to clear shelves quickly to make room for new collections, offering some of the deepest discounts of the year. Typically, this happens in January and July, when winter shifts to spring or summer turns to fall. During these periods, you'll see tons of products marked with yellow tags, the sign of final clearance. Not just seasonal clothing like coats, boots, or swimsuits, but also home goods, accessories, bedding, and more get heavily discounted. Each week that passes, if items haven't sold, Marshalls adds new yellow tags, slashing prices by another 10–20%. That's why, with a bit of patience and perfect timing, you can score designer items at unbelievably low prices. But there's a catch. Deeply discounted items sell out fast. Popular sizes and styles often disappear within days. So here's a tip. Visit midweek, when staff have tidied up and restocked after a busy weekend. You'll have more options and a better shot at grabbing a steal. 13. Clearance return policy. One thing many Marshalls shoppers overlook is the return policy for clearance items, especially those with yellow tags. For most products, Marshalls allows returns or exchanges within 30 days, even refunds if you keep the receipt. That sounds flexible and customer-friendly. But with clearance items, it's not so straightforward. In reality, some deeply discounted items have restricted return policies or can only be exchanged, not refunded. Especially with cosmetics, skincare, or electronics marked with yellow tags, they're often labeled final sale, meaning once you buy, you're stuck with it. If you don't check carefully, you might end up with a cheap item you can't use, which becomes a waste. That's why, before checking out, always ask the staff about the return policy for that specific item. A few seconds of clarification can save you hassle later. Also, if the item you're eyeing has a minor flaw, decide on the spot, or ask for an extra markdown, rather than assuming you can return it later. With clearance items, the chance to change your mind is almost zero. Shopping at Marshalls isn't just about luck, it's a game of savvy. When you understand the secrets behind price tags, tag colors, shopping timing, or return policies, you're no longer a passive customer. You become an active deal hunter. Every dollar you spend is worth it, and every item you bring home has real value. If you want more content like this, comment the number 2.